YNW Melly's trial has officially started, and with the death penalty on the line, tensions are high. We're going to recap the details of his court case so we can assess the likelihood of Melly being sentenced to death, given the evidence thus far. Before we dive in, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Let's get into it. Jamel Demons, also known as YNW Melly, was born on May 1st of 1999, making him 23 at the age of this recording. Melly exploded in popularity with his songs Murder on My Mind as well as mixed personalities with Kanye West, with lyrics like,
murder on my mind. AK-47s, Mac 11s, Glocks and 9s, and all these pussy niggas hating, trying to knock me off my grind. But I can't let them do it. I got murder on my mind, bitch. I got murder on my mind.
Melly would paint the picture of a man who was willing to take a life of whoever was in his way. Melly would also state that he had an alternate personality named Melvin.
Personality, I really do though, Melvin and shit. He been inside of me, like he been in, like mentally, like inside of me, but I ain't have a name for him, like when I was in the streets. Until one day, I met Hennessy, and he was just, I looked in the mirror, he was like, Melvin! I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is you?
Melly was on everybody's radar, quickly rising to the top seemingly out of nowhere, but unfortunately, all of this success would come to an abrupt halt.
Now at 5:37, 2 men are in jail this morning, including an up-and-coming Florida rapper. Both men are charged in a double murder. Police are saying the two staged a crime scene to make it look like a drive-by shooting. CBS 4's Carly Barnett is live at the Broward County Jail in Fort Lauderdale with more. Carly.
It all started on October 26th of 2018, when YNW Sakchaser, also known as Anthony Williams, and YNW Juvy, also known as Christopher Thomas, were dropped off at the Memorial Hospital in Fort Pierce, Florida. They were dropped off by their friend YNW Bortland, also known as Cartel Henry, who was driving a Jeep riddled with bullets, stating that they were the victims of a drive-by shooting. However, the police were unable to find any evidence of bullet casings, and no reports of shots being fired were reported in the area Bortland claimed they were shot at. This prompted an investigation, and surveillance video revealed that Bortland had lied about everybody who was involved, and that YNW Melly was present when the shooting occurred. Phone records also showed that instead of going directly to the hospital, Bortland and Melly drove around for a period of time, and what the police theorized was an effort to formulate a story. A shell casing from a .40 caliber handgun was found inside of the Jeep and was located on the floorboard of the left passenger seat inside the car. This is where the video evidence showed that Melly was sitting. An autopsy was conducted on the victims, and it revealed that the shot that killed YNW Sakchaser came from behind and to the left of where he was sitting. It was also fired from less than 3 feet away. Sakchaser was in the front right passenger seat, further implicating that Melly, who was sitting in the back left passenger seat, was the shooter. Police also theorized that Melly got outside of the car and shot into it in an effort to make it look like a drive-by had occurred. As police gathered forensic evidence, they started to dial in on Melly and Bortland, and on February 12th of 2019, Bortland was arrested in Texas and extradited to Broward County. Melly turned himself in the next day on February 13th of 2019, and Melly and Bortland were now being charged with first-degree murder for the death of their 2 friends. Both Melly and Bortland pleaded not guilty, and the prosecutors would seek the death penalty, stating that the killings were especially heinous, atrocious, and cruel. Despite the mountain of evidence against him, Melly retains that he's innocent, with a post uploaded to Instagram on the day that he was arrested. Attached was the picture of the 4 men and a caption that read, "To all my fans and supporters, no, I did not get locked up in Washington, but I am turning myself in today. I want you guys know that I love you and I appreciate every single one of y'all. A couple months ago, I lost my 2 brothers by violence, and now the system wants to find justice. Unfortunately, a lot of rumors and lies are being said, but no worries. God is with me and my brother YNW Bortland. And we want y'all to remember it's a YNW family. I love you YNW Sakchaser and YNW Juvy." Melly and Bortland would be denied bail, but Bortland would eventually be granted house arrest on March 23rd of 2020. On October 23rd of the same year, almost 2 years to the day of the killings, the families of the victims filed a wrongful death suit, stating that the shooting was the result of growing tension between the 4 over the money that was coming in from rapping. Lawyers on Sakchaser's team wrote, "When there are less people splitting up the prospect of money, the people on the receiving end will get more." April 14th of 2021, Bortland is arrested after going to a strip club and violating his house arrest conditions, but is re-released in late August of 2021 due to the fact that he had not committed any new crimes despite breaching the conditions of his release. However, Melly has remained in jail with no bond, getting denied even after contracting the coronavirus during the pandemic. Melly's defense would aim to get the death penalty removed, stating that the prosecutors failed to give a 45-day notice after the arraignment that they would be seeking the death penalty. A trial judge would side with the defense, ruling that the prosecutors had forfeited the chance to seek the death penalty. An appeals court would later rule that the judge's decision was incorrect, stating that since the prosecutor gave notice that they might seek the death penalty when Melly was first charged, that they had complied with the rules. This back and forth has continued, and as of now it's unclear whether or not Melly could be charged with the death penalty or not. Here are some of the possible motives as to why Melly might have shot and killed his friends. The first, of course, being money. The YNW brand was starting to blow up, and rumors started coming out that Melly could have wanted a bigger share, as the crew were having issues determining how the incoming money would be split. There's also a theory that Sakchaser was jealous of Melly and would often bully and try to control him. It didn't help when a video of Melly's mom surfaced on YouTube, where she would claim that Sakchaser was threatening her.
Text messages from Sakchaser threatening all her friends and all these people, like he's about this life. But I'm saying, like, who the fuck you ever robbed? Who the fuck you ever shot at? What the fuck you ever did? Nigga, you couldn't even take a fucking weed charge. If you don't sit your pussy ass down and don't ever come for me, because my credentials is real. It ain't even a joke. So don't.
Regardless, until the evidence is presented and we get all the details, these are just theories. We'll just have to wait and see what Melly's defense would be, and hopefully it sheds some light on what actually went down on the night of the murders. Melly faces life in prison and potentially even death. But what do you think? Is Melly going to get a death penalty, life in prison, or will he get lucky and beat the case? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button if you made it this far. That's all I wanted to talk about today. I'm Sakchaser and this is Cult Following. See you next time.